If you want to make your website more accessible, there are a few things you can do, and I've compiled them into one handy article. Making the article was a chance to actually test it against our own website, so it's a little bit of a meta experience to go through a few quick tweaks, which I'll share as we go. The reason to do it is because it's better for everyone. It's not people with particular disabilities or access needs. If you can make a better experience for one person, it generally makes it better for everyone. It makes it clearer, you can reach a larger audience, improve your SEO, and just a better user experience. So I dug through old issues of the Better Allies newsletter because I find they often have really good advice on accessibility improvements. Sometimes they have the non-obvious advice. And I also went through and did a couple of the major audits that you can do for free. So the first one of those was the WAVE Web Accessibility Evaluation. That is wave.webaim.org. Oops. And if you just put your site's URL into their search bar, we can do a live search right now. And so this will show you that there are 4 errors. There's a couple of things that I fixed up since the last time I ran this test. The changes we made were not to use justified text in the footer where we had an acknowledgement of country. We changed it to centered text. Check for skipped heading levels. So if you haven't used an H2 heading yet, you've got to use that before you use an H3. And then keeping your alt image text really short and snappy. So we reduced our logo alt text to something that was a bit shorter than we had before. If you click into the details, it tells you what those errors are. And then it has some others that are alerts if they're not major issues, and then the rest it's saying looks pretty good since I edited it earlier. The issues that are left here are form field issues, which I need help to fix. So that's a good one you can do for different pages of the site. Once you've done that one, you can do the Google Lighthouse test. So I used the browser version, which is Page Speed Insights. So we'll analyze and see how we do there. Test is now finished. And yeah, again, doing pretty well in some areas, and the page speed needs a lot of work. Moving along, there's the contrast test. So if you put your brand colors into the WebAIM contrast checker, so the foreground and the background, this will tell you whether your contrast ratio is meeting the accessibility standards at different text sizes and levels. And then you can flip them around to check them the other way. So then I came across these posters from the UK government that give you really specific advice about designing for users on the autistic spectrum, users of screen readers, those with low vision, physical or motor disabilities, deaf or hard of hearing, and with dyslexia. And I called out in pink the ones that I thought would be most relevant or most useful for us to look at. You can click through to the article to see the whole thing, to see what's relevant to you. And then out of that, there was some just basic principles to go through with your content. So make sure your text is clear and readable, make your navigation simple and logical, keeping that heading structure. Make sure your website works with screen readers, so use descriptive alt text, and make your interactive elements like buttons and forms keyboard friendly. Make sure the whole site is keyboard and mobile friendly, so you can tab through from spot to spot, which is how screen readers work. Consider users with different cognitive and visual needs, so having dark mode or high contrast options, using plain language, and then practice respectful emoji use. So don't use emoji for bullet points. You'll see that regular bullet points are better, and using them for bullet points will just make screen readers read out the emoji names. This was something that Holly Took called out on LinkedIn, which I've linked over here. Interrogate your emoji color choices. So especially if you are a white person, you may be using yellow emoji thinking that they're neutral, but a study from the University of Edinburgh says that they are not. So think about why you're choosing the color of emoji that you're choosing, and make sure it's authentic to the content and the needs. Write good alt text. So we touched on this before, but there's a handy little decision tree that you can go through to understand whether there's any alt text needed at all, and then if there is alt text needed, how much detail or how to use it. This is something that I hope I'm getting better at, just in terms of the length and not including the words like image or photo. It's all of that stuff is built in. Always end the alt text with a full stop, front load it with the most important words, and avoid technical jargon. Only mention identity if it's relevant. And that's it. So So I'd love to hear if there's anything that I've missed in this little run through, because chances are I'll need to have a look at our own site to add those improvements as well. But hopefully this is helpful and there's something in here for you. Okay, if you like this kind of content, feel free to subscribe and follow along for more.